All right, now for the next segment, talk about the employee onboarding roadmap, turning that job offer yes into a long-term yes. And you might be asking yourself, well, Dave, what do you mean by that? Well, allow me to explain. I can't tell you how many times people have came to me and be like, I've been searching for months for this perfect candidate. I finally found him. I got him all the way through multiple interviews, got to the point where I made the job offer and they ghosted me. Or worse yet, they said yes, but it was a short term yes. In 60 days, 90 days in, they left for another career opportunity. Well, I can tell you the good news is I can help you out with that today because I found it comes out to four critical things not being fundamentally sound in your organization. It's not limited to these things, but it's usually one or more of these components are out of whack that can cause this to happen. First and foremost, this isn't the most important thing by far, but employee compensation. You need to make sure you know in your industry what type of compensation is competitive and what's on the upper scale. Always make sure for the right candidate you have a competitive compensation structure. And oh, by the way, in addition to that, there's a way that they can get to the upper tier of that if they're a top performer. The next piece that I think is the most important is company culture. And you might ask, well, what is company culture? And we talked about that in one of our other videos. But company culture, I think, is the most important thing. When you're walking in, I encourage you to walk into your organization tomorrow, walk in the door looking through a completely different lens as if you were a brand new hire coming in that day. Brand new hire that knows nothing about the organization. What are your first impressions? How are the employees dressed? How are they interacting with one another? Is this a team atmosphere? Is it a fun atmosphere? Is it high energy? Is it engaging? Are all the tools and resources there to thrive? Does everybody fully understand the company mission statement, the core values, and your company's non-negotiables? Culture is instrumental because I can tell you when a candidate comes in for that interview, their spidey sensors are up and they can tell when something is out of whack. And you got to think about it from a candidate perspective because I know many of us haven't been there in a while and it's been some time. But what candidates do is they're very keen on things when they first come in and they're very aware. They're thinking to themselves, can I see myself operating here 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, all year long? They're going to be spending a good part of their lives in your organization. Are you making it welcoming? Is it a family, tight knit organization where everybody gets along and you guys both work hard and play hard? What does that look like? Go into your organization tomorrow and walk through from a candidate perspective and what things are doing really well and what things could you maybe change. The next thing outside of employee culture, number three, would be training and giving them the right tools to succeed. The worst thing you can do is take a high potential employee, a new team member, not give them the tools and training they need to succeed at the highest level, and it results in a mediocre performance. I can tell you right now, high performers and high capacity individuals do not vibe well operating in the land of mediocrity. That's a great way to get somebody to doubt if this is the right career for them and maybe move on to the next thing. And then last but not least, number four, having that short-term and long-term career path in front of them at all times. So no matter where somebody's starting in your organization, they should always know the time frame and what they need to do to get to that next step up the ladder. And once they get there, what's the step after that? And make it so the sky's the limit. How high could they climb if they did all the right things and they had the right level of performance? When you have this going for you well in your organization with clear expectations, this is a critical component to get people to stick with you for years to come. And it's a great way to get that long-term yes. And what I'm going to go through now is just a basic framework to give you an example of an employee onboarding roadmap. And I don't want you to use this one verbatim. I want you to actually take the opportunity to create an exercise in your organization to create your own, because it's got to be unique to your business. Different businesses operate differently. So whether you're a small business or a medium to large organization, as a small operator, this might be an exercise you're doing on your own as you're just bringing people into the organization. As a large business, I highly encourage you bring together a team building event, get your entire leadership team together for this exercise. And what you should be mapping out is maybe taking different colored post-it notes like you see in this slide and putting them up on the wall and putting up the most critical and important things before the employee starts. What does that first impression look like? What is the onboarding system you currently operate on? What's the level of engagement with that employee? Did you share your company mission statement, key values? Did you send them a welcome packet? Did you give them a warm welcoming in joining your organization? And then day one. What does day one look like? If you could think of your perfect first day on the job, what would that be? Maybe help the employee by giving them a tour, showing them a lay of the land, introducing them to everybody in the office. First and foremost, announce their arrival to all the existing employees so they know to welcome them coming in. They're not just caught off surprise. Make sure everybody is dressed to impress, really setting the tone for this new individual. Discuss your culture, your mission statement, and your core policies, benefits that are available, and review their onboarding plan so they know what to expect the first day, the first week, the first month, 60 days, 90 days in. And if you really want to go over the top, I highly encourage you to host a welcoming event. If you're not already doing daily meetings with your team, even if they're short meetings, which I highly recommend is having this as part of your culture, start out with doing a welcoming event meeting with a new hire when they come into an organization. Introduce them to everybody. Have everybody get to know each other. Maybe do an exercise together, a team building game. Imagine if you came in your first day and it was almost like an event style, like you're celebrating a birthday. And you could even have a cake there, welcoming them the first day into the organization. That will speak volumes about your culture. I can tell you the Zappos organization that has one of the best cultures I've ever seen, they actually go as far as having a graduation ceremony. When the person comes in, their first day on the job, it invites their family to be a part of that celebration. Imagine being that team member on your first day, how you would feel. Okay, week one, rolling into week one, mapping that out. Did you enroll the employee in all maybe initial programs or special interest groups that they have? Introduce them into a buddy program. I think this is instrumental. I always take our new employees and pair them up with our best, highest caliber people because there's nobody in the organization that's going to teach them the best than the ones that are eating, living, and breathing your culture and delivering at the highest level. So I highly recommend creating an incentive program in place for your top people to mentor your new people in so you can create a breathing ground in your organization to clone those best employees. Meet periodically. I would even meet every day in that first week to make sure you're touching base with them and they have a sense of confidence in what they're doing. Set the scope of their job performance expectations very clearly so they understand what they need to deliver upon. Discuss company resources and training programs available. First 30 to 90 days, honor monthly anniversaries and recognize achievements. This is very important. There's been numerous surveys and studies that have shown that compensation isn't the most important things, and people a lot of times just want to be recognized. They want to have that next step. They want to know that they matter. Survey them about their experience. You might get invaluable information from that new hire that will help them in the future and will also help you in onboarding that next person that comes through the same process. Monitor the process with them. Allow for job shadowing. Allow for them to have real hands-on experience with customers while they're maybe shadowing with that top employee. And introduce, if you haven't already, to key business partners and leaders in the organization. Now, last but not least, the first year encompassed. Stay connected constantly throughout the year, getting feedback from them. Integrate them into the training program. So again, they're constantly moving forward, always getting better in their role or getting prepared for the next role in that career path. Continuously recognizing achievements and reminding them of all the things and opportunities and benefits that are available in your organization. So I encourage you to maybe this week get with your team and create your own employee onboarding roadmap, because this is going to be part of the success of getting that short-term yes from the right candidate and the long-term yes that's going to be from that candidate to stick in your organization for years to come.